Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Good morning and welcome to another Sticks radio show here on Seclo Sounds. Today I'm delighted to have a guest returning to the show. He's one of the favourites here on the Sticks radio show. It's Gordy Marshall, former drummer of the Moody Blues. He's going to be talking about his new project, why he left the Moody Blues, and lots more in the hour. And also later on in the hour I'm going to tell you what's on in and around Milton Keynes. But before all that, let's play a classic Moody Blues song. This is Go Now.
We've already said
Go Now from the Moody Blues, and my guest today is none other than the drummer of the Moody Blues, Gordy Marshall. Good morning, Gordy.
Good morning to you.
Well, you're the former drummer of the Moody Blues, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, I was just about to correct you.
I know. Well, I had to put something in like that. Well, let's talk about why you're the former drummer of the Moody Blues.
Well, the reason I'm the former drummer is because I left last year. There was no fallout as such. It was just that often in life circumstances can take a change, and the guys were touring sort of a little bit less than I needed to work, and I have my other band, which was starting to sort of ramp up really in terms of the amount of work that was being offered, and it became a little bit difficult to balance the two, so I had to make a pragmatic but very difficult decision. So when we did Glastonbury last year, I walked on stage at Glastonbury knowing that that was going to be my last gig with them after 25 years, which was I had a lump in my throat when I walked on stage, I have to say. Yeah,
I bet you did. I mean, 25 years is a long while. It's
quarter of a century.
It's half of a
25
lifetime,
years.
isn't it?
It's as long. I mean, there aren't many bands that have been around that long.
No.
And as a backing musician, to have a stint with a band as famous and as renowned as the Moody Blues is quite phenomenal, really. So I consider myself to be extremely fortunate.
Yeah, but you've been on before, and we spoke about how you got into the music business. But those that didn't listen then, let's have a little resume of how you got into the music business and how you joined the Moody Blues. It's quite a story, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I had lessons from an early age. It's a sort of a traditional route, really. I had a passion for music early on, and then I wanted to be a professional musician, and I moved to London in my early 20s and struggled for quite a number of years until I got a call to audition for the Moody Blues. And basically, to cut a long story short, I went along to the audition and got the gig. It was originally for a 9-week tour, but then they just kept on asking me back and for every tour after that. So, yes, for 25 years, I toured around the world and played on all the world's biggest stages, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, but you've now got this new group, and they're called Legend of a Band, tribute to the Moody Blues, and I'll get my teeth organised this morning. Tell us a little bit about that and how it became about, and what and why you fancy doing this.
Well, originally I put a band together with a really good buddy of mine called Paul Bliss. With Paul Bliss, who played with me in the Moody Blues for 20 years. And we put another band together called The Reflections, and that was effectively a collective of session musicians, and we would go around small theatres and play gigs and do, the music from all of the artists that we played with. So we used to play some Moody Blues music, some 10cc, the Hollies, the Manfords, anybody that was in the band, we'd cover those musicians' bands. But more and more, it became evident that we enjoyed playing the Moody's music more than anything else. So I decided to create a straight Moody Blues tribute band. For me, they are probably one of the greatest bands ever to have come out of the 20th century, and I don't honestly think their music is played as much as it should be. I mean, they should be as big as the Stones and the Who, and they are to the people that know and love them. But it just seemed a great vehicle for me to be able to get together with some really good mates, play some fantastic music, and go out and do as many gigs as we could. Yeah,
because I've seen you twice actually when you were with the Reflections band, and both times when you played the Moody stuff, it got all the stuff, Cliff Richard, the Hollies, all that got a huge, and the Manfreds, all got a big reaction. But when you played the Moody Blues stuff, the people went wild.
Yes, it was. I mean, the Moody Blues music is in Paul and my blood, really. I feel like I've grown up with it, although I came to it as an adult. But no, it truly is fantastic. And when I put this band together, and Paul and I put Legend of a Band together, and we did a lot of pre-production. We studied the music just as closely as if we were working with the band. And Paul, who's effectively our musical director, created these amazing arrangements. And then I got a group of top musicians together in the studio. And the first time we played through the Moody Blues set list in the rehearsal room, it was fantastic. I was just thinking, okay, that box ticked. It's going to be great. And it's been borne out by the reactions we've been getting from the audiences, which have been fantastic.
Yeah, because you've got some great musicians playing. You've just mentioned Paul. Well, Paul for many years was with the Moody Blues as a keyboard player, and he's also with the Hollies. He was with the Hollies, and he's also worked with the legendary Cliff Richard.
No, Paul hasn't worked with Cliff Richard.
Oh, you have, done?
No, I have, yes, but
okay.
Paul hasn't. Our lead singer, Mick Wilson, who is the current lead singer of 10cc, spent 2 or 3 years touring with Cliff Richard, so he knows him very well, of course.
Yeah.
Paul is also a hit songwriter. He's written hits for Celine Dion and Janet Jackson and Al Jarreau and a number of people. So Paul's he's quite a feather in our cap, really.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned 10cc, you mentioned Mick Wilson. I've seen Mick perform, but with you and his solo stuff, and I'm also hoping to see 10cc this summer. And he's a great vocalist. I mean, the voice is amazing, isn't it?
It really doesn't get any better.
No, he really is under really is sort of appreciated, really, isn't he?
Yeah, under-celebrated.
Under-celebrated, yeah, God, yeah, we call it that, shall we?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm just a drummer. I just sit at the back.
Yeah.
Drums, and I look around at this vista of world-class musicians in front of me, counting my blessings, really.
Yeah, well,
It's great to play with.
You say that last time I saw you, I was very close to the stage, and I've never seen a drummer up quite as close as that, and I never actually realised how hard they worked.
Yes, it is a workout. I mean, people say to me, "You must keep you fit," but in actual fact, you've got to be fit to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with back problems and leg problems and all sorts of things. So, I come off the stage after I've been playing, and I feel like I've done a workout, and it is quite energetic. I mean, you're not sitting there blowing down the end of a tube or stroking a string with a bow. You're actually taking a piece of wood and hitting your instrument as hard as you can. So, hang on, let me get rid of this. Sorry about this.
That's all right.
I've just moved into this new house, and I've got these new phones, and they keep on beeping every 2 minutes. I've taken the batteries out, so there you go.
Oh, that's it. Normally throw it against the wall works for me, so that's great.
Yeah, that might go out the window, actually. Or strictly by the computer.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry, we're in the middle of our interview, then went off pace.
Yeah. You've also got two other I think I've seen one of them. I think I saw Tim last year. Tim Maple was with you with Reflections.
Tim Maple. Tim Maple's amazing. I first worked with him in Thriller Live, the Michael Jackson musical, and we toured Scandinavia together. And I realised then that he's just he's an amazing keyboard player, he's an amazing guitarist, he's got perfect pitch. So if you're listening to a chord and you want to know what the notes are, you just ask him, and if you sit on the bus, he'll say, "Oh, it's C sharp, D." It'll be whatever the notes are in it. He's fantastic. He was the musical director for X Factor live tours, and he's simply great to work with.
Yeah, he's worked with Leona Lewis and also Westlife as well.
Oh, Ollie Mills.
Oh,
all the top X Factor.
Yeah, Joe McElroy, all those sort of people. So, now, the other guy joining you is a gentleman called Malcolm Moore. He was James Blunt and Josh Stone's bass player. Now, James Blunt, he's some kind of singer as well, isn't he?
Oh, fantastic! I'm a huge fan. Again, Malcolm's one of those guys. We needed somebody who could play the bass and sing lead as well, because obviously John Lodge has got a significant amount. We play a lot of John Lodge songs in the show. We needed somebody that could cover those vocals, and Malcolm just nails it. He also sings "Go Now," which he played at the beginning there. So again, he's one of those, and he plays the keyboards and he plays drums, and he's a great songwriter too. Yeah, so, I mean,
you've been very, apart from playing with the Moody Blues, you've done all sorts, haven't you? I mean, I was watching it actually a couple of months ago, and there I saw you. I was watching War of the Worlds, the live thing with Liam Neeson and that, and there at the back I saw some drummer I knew.
Was that me or was it Aki?
No, it was you, I'm afraid. It was you.
Oh, it did me, was it? Yeah,
it was you.
I did the arena tours for about 6 years with Jeff. And that's when Jeff asked Justin Hayward to reprieve his role, the sung thoughts of the narrator from the classic album, obviously.
It's
The War of the Worlds. They asked me to go along and play on the show, and I did that with Justin and Jeff for a number of years, and that was fantastic.
It's great fun, isn't it? I'll
10-piece rock band on stage, 40 strings, arenas, War of the Worlds, and it's one of those pinch-me moments in life, that was.
Yeah, but you're not a stranger to the West End at all. You've worked on, it's quite a list here of West End musicals you've worked on. Fame?
Yeah,
Grease?
6 years, actually.
6 years?
I slotted that in between all of the War of the Worlds. And for 6 years, actually, I was pretty much working 7 days a week.
Wow.
Whenever I wasn't on tour with the Moody's or the War of the Worlds, I was in Fame at the Piccadilly Theatre. Not Piccadilly, goodness me, Cambridge Theatre.
Cambridge Theatre in London. Yeah, and you're in Greece as well? You played in Greece?
Yes, I depped on Greece, so I was a deputy. And most of them I deputised on. So the incumbent drummer, the guy that would do it regularly, would take time off, and then I would go in and dep for them. Or as they say in America, substitute.
So, I mean, I'd look through. I mean, I've seen most of these musicals, and they are, should we say, probably the top musicals in the country, or basically in the world, some of them. I mean, you're on We Will Rock You. Now, I saw that a few years ago and loved every minute of that as well.
Right. That's a great show to play.
Yeah, and Mamma Mia,
Rent. You sit on that big kit. Sorry to interrupt you, but again, it's one of those moments. You're on stage, with We Will Rock You, and then you're sort of sight reading it. You're on somebody else's drum kit, and then towards the end of the show, you